What is up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we are still having technical issues as J Dog and I were trying to fix it earlier today, and it just is not working very well. So, we're going to do another episode on the phone, and hopefully, we got it figured out by tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. So, let me know if I sound okay. Let me know if there is any issues right now. Let me know, because as I said, we're going to see how it goes. But for right now, we're going to do it on the phone and we're going to have ourselves still a good time. Is it working? Well, yeah, it's not working again, J Dog. But I'm just doing it on my phone, which is fine too by me. That totally works for me. But today on this episode, we are here, guys, after we've watched Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Saturday Night's Main Event, and every other show that WWE AEW has. We're here to talk about on an episode that I don't know why and where it came up with. Maybe it was just because we sit here and watch all and waste all this time. I wanted to find out and I wanted to test the theory to see how much time we wasted on commercials and ads and everything else like that. And the results are in. Like we're freaking Maury over here. And the results are in. You are not the father. But we're now here to talk about and just, kind of tell you what I figured out and how much time we're watching these shows, how much time we're actually watching the shows, how much time we waste on entrances, all of those shenanigans and all of that stuff. But yeah, so happy, what are we at? What is today? Sunday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Happy Sunday. We're one step closer and one day closer to football season beginning. Sorry, I was trying to read J Dog's comment. You had the results for this long and now making it. Well, first of all, we had to actually wait until we did the Saturday night's main event. And then, J Dog, you let me know when I had time to be able to do these episodes with all of the pay per views and every other nonsense thing that we have going on. This is the first week we haven't had a pay per view or a premium live event every other week in how long? So, yes, it did take this long. And that's okay because we're here now and we're going to talk about it. But if I do not see your comments, I'm trying to see them on my phone. So if I do not see them right away, please don't yell at me and we'll be okay. But happy Sunday, everybody. We are one week and another day closer to football season. We got preseason on all that good stuff. If you guys were not here and did not check in while I did the test show earlier, we were here for like 8 minutes. It sounded great. We were doing great there. Me and J Dog were chatting. I did meet Mick Foley, Devon Dudley, and Stinger. I met Sting yesterday. You guys will be seeing a vlog later this week coming out as I will show you my experience. Hopefully, if this internet thing can be fixed by the end of the night. But keep an eye out for that vlog. Now that we've done all of this and that, the Bears and Dolphins did tie. Now that we did all of that, let's talk about these commercials. Let's talk about these ads. Let's talk about it because it can be different because we do have all the shows on different networks, Peacock, Netflix. It is on freaking NBC. It's on this. It's on that network. It's on all the networks. AEW's on TBS. So it can be different. All the shows are also different hours, different times, different, Well, okay, not different times because they all start at 7 o'clock. But for the most part, we do have, SmackDown was 3 hours. It is now 2 hours, thankfully. Raw is still 3 hours on Netflix, but Netflix is different amount of time ads than the actual like commercials like Fox and everything else. And that is the one thing that I did learn while we were doing and while we were talking about this and everything. If you guys were on and you were with me with the live streams that we were testing it when I was taking the commercial breaks all the time. And, we were trying to figure out how much we were wasting and because like I said it all could be different and everything and the hours and the shows and all of that and yeah, but let's start off with Monday Night Raw because it's the first show of the week. We will be back Monday Night Raw tomorrow night to start another week and get ready to continue as I think not till August 24th is the next PLE on that Sunday. I think it's NXT Heatwave if I'm not mistaken. And also we do have AEW Forbidden Door that weekend also. Don't so maybe we'll be live for that. But Monday Night Raw, you guys know it's been on Netflix now. And the biggest thing that I have just not even like I think with Raw, the biggest thing is because it has the timer up there. I think it helps, at least with me, it helps me a lot. And it is one of those things where it's like, okay, we know that the show is gonna be, or the commercials are gonna be 3 minutes each. You got 3 minutes to go and do what you got to do, and then you will see, yeah. Sorry, everybody. Every time I press live, people start pressing, messaging, and calling me. It's like a reflex in my family. I swear to God. But yeah, so Monday Night Raw, 3 minute commercials that we had, and the show is obviously 3 hours. It has been 3 hours. It will probably stay 3 hours. We had, and this is where it got for me. We had 4 commercials an hour, 12 commercials the whole time, and for the 3 hour show, it was 54 minutes out of the 3 hours that we sat here and that we watched commercials. And I feel like spending an hour watching commercials is a little bit insane because for the most part, they're different. They're not even different commercials. They're the same amount of commercials and they're the same amount and the same ones that we see over and over again. Yeah, that's great if you're trying to get it stuck in our head and have people do what you want to do and all of that, but it's very annoying. Where if you guys know with like Netflix, the VPN and the over states and the UK and everything, when they go to a commercial break, they sometimes have interviews, they sometimes have other things that I feel like would be way beneficial for us to see than us seeing whatever the heck that we're seeing in these, again, and it's all about the money, it's all about the pain, and that's what this and what it's all gonna end up being about. But I just thought and I found this very interesting, as like I said, because it is different on all of the networks, the different shows, the hours, all of that. But 54 minutes of commercials on a Monday night, when at least when football's on for me, it makes Raw a little bit smoother to go through and to watch because there's something else on. But there are times when I'm sitting here watching this, and I know you guys definitely feel like it, where there's times where the show feels like it's flying by, and then there's times where it feels like we've been here for 5 hours, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Oh my God, let's move on. Let's get to the main event. And Raw is now not 3 hours because they obviously, and I said 3 hours, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's been 2.5 hours, which is, that's been the biggest thing too with Raw now. And I've been saying 3 hours. Now that I say that, I kind of feel stupid because it has been 2.5 hours since it's been on Netflix. There has been a few times it has went a little bit over and a little bit longer, but for those 3 hour shows that were on Raw and Netflix, we were wasting 54 minutes. Now for the 2.5 hour shows, we were, and they are it's about 40, 45 minutes, depending on, sometimes I've noticed, because I've done it on my own sometimes, just like making a check mark. I've noticed that there are some weeks during the main event that we have a couple more extra commercials than usual. And when I say that, I mean like commercial breaks, because the commercial breaks are still 3 minutes every single time, it seems. But yeah, that is what I thought was really interesting, though. And with it now ending at 9:30, obviously it depends, it changes and everything else like that. But still, having 40 minutes of commercials, maybe at the lowest, maybe they have 37, maybe they do one less every once in a while. But that's still time that we could be, and that's not even counting the entrances. If you want to talk about the entrances for the 3 hour shows, we probably waste another 30 minutes on these entrances and watching them, which is fine, and that's great for the people that are there. But for the people that are me and you sitting at home, Joe Schmo, in our basement, our couch, our living room, our podcast room, our bedroom, wherever you're at, like it doesn't do anything for me. Or like that's like when they show the visuals and the like animated things on the TV screen. The people in the studio and the people that are live at SmackDown or Raw or NXT can't see that. So what exactly is that doing for us on the television to make it look better? Yeah, I don't know about all of that. But that is for the 3 hour shows for Raw and the 2.5 hour shows for Raw. Because, like I said, Raw has been 2.5 hours. I think it might have been since Netflix, and I just didn't realize. But I like feel like we also SmackDown said they were going to go to 2 hours, and then it took a long time. Now SmackDown for the 3 hour shows was the exact same thing for the most part, But the biggest thing with SmackDown when it was 3 hours, because now we're gonna talk about SmackDown real quick. About the 3 hour SmackDown, since we talked about the 3 hour Raw. Biggest thing about the 3 hour SmackDown was is because it is on, or well, it's on USA now. They have, and they do about 4 to 5 minute commercials. And I'm not sitting here counting commercials, and I'm not sitting here saying that, we're gonna do like, I'm not sitting here like a crazy person doing all that. But I just think the biggest thing about all of this and this whole entire thing that I'm talking about here is just, I get the ad revenue, I get this, I get that. But there could be different ways for you to do it, especially when we're watching the shows, especially like when we do the PLEs, and that's why like you don't even need to do the P. I mean, I guess you could do the PLEs depending on what it is, but when we're watching a PLE, the biggest thing about the ads and the commercials are the ones that they're all about WWE. They're a Slim Jim commercial, it's a WWE shop commercial, it's a Priority Pass commercial, it's a freaking promo video or somebody, it's a WrestleMania highlight thing that we've seen about 7,000 times. And that's the biggest thing. Obviously, that's different because it's Peacock and it's a pay-per-view, a premium live event, and the networks don't care about all of that. They just want to show what they're coming up and what they got and what's on their networks, which I get and everything. But yeah, so the SmackDowns were about the same, but there were a couple SmackDowns that I did because I've been doing this. I've been trying to do it a couple weeks, like here and there, just to see if there was a difference. And there wasn't a difference on the amount of time that there was commercials, but there were some weeks that, like for SmackDown, when it was 3 hours before it went to 2 hours, that it was about like an hour commercials. And we just sat here and just like I said, why do we add an hour of the show? What's up, Kyle? Why do we have a 3 hour show if an hour of it is going to be commercials? And again, this might be the stupidest episode we ever do on the channel, but I don't know. I just found this very interesting and very like one of those things that I just, I don't know, things that go through my head now. But yes, an hour for SmackDown for 3 hour commercial. So 2 hours of the show. That is not what we have now. We have 2 hour SmackDowns. And I don't know about you guys, but on Friday nights, feel like the show flies by. And there are some weeks it obviously does like slow down, but I feel like the biggest thing with wrestling, and I know Kyle and other people I've talked to and other wrestling fans, 2 hours to 2.5 hours is the sweet spot for wrestling. 2 hours, I feel like is good, but if you add that extra half hour like they did with Raw, I feel like that's good because if you remember back in the day, like 2006, 2007, probably not. But there were times where like I would have to record Raw 30 minutes extra because Raw would go over 15 minutes and it would end at 2 hours. And you would not see what happened at the main event. There were so many main events as a kid that I did not see that I had to go on WWE.com or WWE, whatever it was at the time, to go and see actually what happened in these main events because it cut off. And that is the thing where it was one of those things that we it frustrated me because there were like so many times that I just had to sit there and sorry, I keep getting off track. I keep getting text messages. Sorry guys. But yeah. Now that is what, like I said, for SmackDown and everything, and the time going over, like I said, 2 hours, and that's where I was at. 2 hours, 2.5 hours for wrestling, I feel like is the sweet spot. It's good amount of time. Obviously, that's not counting pay-per-views and premium live events because pay-per-views are different. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivors. Every pay-per-view now is going to be 2 days. So for the most part, the shows go about 3.5 hours, and now they're changing the press conference stuff, which I kind of like the way the press conference did, and they did it at SummerSlam. People in the chat, let me know. We will go through the chat. I'm trying to get my computer up to at least be able to see the chat because I can't even see the chat on my computer, guys. I need to fix this fudging internet ASAP. But yes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. SmackDown now being 2 hours. The 2 hour shows are obviously the most digestible. But the biggest thing about the 2 hour shows is we only have about I'm sorry. We only have about 34 to 37, at most 40 minutes of commercials. And yes, that is still a lot, But for me, like 30 something minutes of commercials, I can handle where it's like it's not too much, it's not too little. We still get to the point. And yeah, SmackDown does sometimes feel rushed. And I think they're still trying to figure out how to do it and how to have it. And, because they've been the head. It's like, you know, the thing I've noticed, it's like they can either, they have 3 hours they don't know what to do with, they have 2 hours and they try to fill it all into one. It's like if we put the 3 hour show and you did everything we do in the 2 hours and give it all a little bit of time, I call it a win. Just like Saturday at SummerSlam. I feel like it wasn't like obviously the greatest show, but I do feel like obviously Sunday was way better. But I feel like they gave everybody their time. They gave everybody their everybody had a little bit of amount of time. Everybody had a decent match for the most part. Obviously, Jade and Tiffany went 7 minutes and was what it was. But for the most part, a lot of the matches got their time, and especially on Sunday, they got their time and they got what they needed. And that's the biggest thing for like these weekly shows. Why are we smashing it all into one or two things? When if we had the 3 hours and literally, I'm like over here. Like if we had 3 hours and we did it little by little, it makes it smooth. It's ta-da. Everything's simple. I don't know why. But yes, 34 minutes for both Raw, or not Raw, I'm sorry, for SmackDown and NXT. NXT on Tuesday nights, you guys know we're here watching it all the time, having ourselves a very good day, having ourselves a good time, watching the NXT stars fight, and they just love it. And then you got to make sure, because we're on the topic of NXT, you got to go check out NXT Night Shift over on the Main Event Network over there, Main Event Network over there, up there, haha, Main Event Network. Go check it out, Mr. Too Sweet Kyle and Jay Gold have themselves a good show. But yes, 34 minutes on Tuesdays is not bad for 2 hours of wrestling. And, that's the thing. NXT, if you guys remember too, back when NXT was like, I feel like the last couple of years, NXT's gotten a lot more popular and a lot more like, there's a lot of people that I see watch it now. Like my cousin, I always talk about. My cousin hated NXT, and now all of a sudden he loves NXT. He's all ego, Ricky Saints, all of that. With NXT, and how it goes, and I just feel like when we do watch the show, I don't understand how they could somehow make it seem so smooth to have 2 hours and to make everything work, but then we watch Raw and SmackDown and we can't. So I don't know if Shawn Michaels got to call Triple H. I don't know what he's got to do, but I feel like there's ways to I feel like there's ways that Shawn could tell Triple H to do things. As I say that's ridiculous. Triple H should know how to do this, but there's just a lot of time wasted, a lot of time on, again, I love video packages, I love these introductions, I love stuff like that. But there's times where, again, I feel like we just get to the match and let's get it going and let's just come on now. Like there's too much time. Or again, these video packages are great, but we didn't need a 15-minute video package for these things that we like. Again, I love it. I love celebrating people, but again, no reason to spend. Kyle, what was it that we watched that Friday? It was like 30 minutes of just video packages and tributes. And again, like I understand it and I get it. But it just, there's other like, and then we're trying to rush the main event. And that it just it fucks everything up. And if you guys have not watched Unreal, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I do get, and now that I've seen that, I feel a different way when I watch the shows now, because you kind of like can, if you watched it, you can kind of like think about it while you're watching the matches. Like, okay, they're going to camera 3, they're going to camera 2, they're going to this and that, blah, blah, blah. I also went to broadcasting school and everything. So when I see those buttons, it really intrigues me. And I always love doing that, because they'd be like, well, when we were in broadcasting, real quick story for you. When I was in broadcasting school and everything, we had like different classes that we had to take. And one of them was literally like doing the cameras and having like an fake, or like not like a fake, but like a what do they call it? Somebody in the chat help me out. What is it? Like a pre, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a, like, like a practice video, so like we would do it, like we would have two people be on the thing, like on the buttons, we would have two people in front, like if they were in the ring, and we'd be like camera 3, camera 4, camera 5. So when I see that on Unreal, I just always think it's cool. But I think about that when I'm watching these matches now, and I think that's the biggest thing for when people watch this and when people see like the Unreal and the back and forth with it, there's just a lot of things that you're gonna look at it different. It's like the best way I always think about it too, and it I don't know if anybody watches reality shows, but like there's a lot of people that go on these reality shows, and it's not that they don't like the shows anymore, but they've like lost the illusion of the show. Which mean like if I was to go on Big Brother, which hopefully all of you guys would win team Tino shirts, hell yeah. But I feel like if I was on that show, I would come out and watch it and look at it a different way. Where, like, if I hypothetically, we somehow, one of us gets assigned by WWE and when we go backstage, we're going to get a different, like, different things to have and different, like, we're going to have different. I lost my train of thought. We're going to have different feelings based on because we already know the illusion and we already know like how the magic trick works pretty much. That's the best way I feel like I could say it. Which I just like I said, really interesting, and I know I'm getting off topic here and everything, but I just think that it is a series you guys should watch if you guys do like that type of stuff. But if you don't, then keep the illusion alive, and you don't have to ever worry about it. But back to the commercials because the last one we have to talk about, we talked about Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Now, yeah, talk about this one up there, right? There's that. Yeah, that is up there. It is because the main event right there. It's the main event network right there. The Saturday night's main event is right there. Saturday night's main event, guys. You guys know is on NBC. 2 hour show. It is a commercial galore. We had 15 commercials for a 2 hour show, which means that we had a lot of time and a lot of things wasted. I did not, and I forgot to write down the time for that. But if you guys want to do the math for me, do like 4 times 15, or well, I guess I could do that. So we had about we had 15 commercials. We had 4 minute, 5 minute commercials. So what's 15 times? So we had about 35 to 40 minutes of wasted commercials, which means for a 2 hour show on NBC, we see promo packages. We see this. We see that. We see nonsense. We see a bunch of shenanigans. We get 3, 4 matches, and then that's the show. And I get it. Again, the biggest thing for Saturday night's main event, it's old school. It's got that old school feel. We got Jesse Ventura. I'm sure all the people back in the day that used to watch Saturday night's main event on a Saturday, you're scrolling through the channels, you're bored, eating dinner, you're whatever the heck you're doing on that night. And you turn it on, you're like, let me watch it. Let's see what it's all about. And that's how they get a lot of people. I always remember, too, when they had a SmackDown on Friday before a football game. And they had, I think I forgot. It was like a special football Friday. It was, thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the math. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't see that comment. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Not that I sometimes I'm good at math, sometimes not. But yes, Saturday night's main event, out of all of them, it very well might be the worst. Based on promos, ads, shenanigans, all the other stuff. And it's all about the money. That's what all of this comes down to. And again, sadly, what this world is all about now. It's all about the money. Everything goes about currency in this world, and everything goes about how much money you make on a daily basis. How much money you're gonna make, or how much, because you could sit here and do this and that and all of that, but if you're not making money, then why are you doing that? I always say it's always, for me, it's not about the money. I love, like this, for example, I love doing this because I love hanging out with you and talking to you guys. It's just a bonus that we have been able to build the channel and be able to do what we've been able to do here. And that's why I appreciated it all so very much, because you guys are all the best out here. But yeah, Saturday night's main event. I don't know when the next one is. I'm sure somebody in the chat might know if there is. We got Justin in the house. What's up, Justin? Shout out to Justin. We got Kyle in the house. What's up, Kyle? Too sweet, Kyle. I'm trying to get the comments up as my computer decides it's going to work for like 5 minutes. But I figured I'll show a few comments because we don't know if the internet will go out. We don't know if it will and it won't. I don't know. But for now, we're just going to do the episodes like this and we'll get it figured out hopefully as it goes. But I want to rank these on worst, or I guess it would be best to worst or worst to best. We'll do worst to best because I already said Saturday night's main event is the worst. Saturday night's main event is obvious, has got to be the worst. We need to figure out a way to make it balanced to where they can make money. They can do whatever the heck they need to do, but we can also enjoy the show. Because for me, that's the biggest thing. I'm not enjoying the shows. I'm not enjoying when I'm watching and I'm sitting here after watch all these commercials and ads and for me, for me, and I say all of this because for YouTube, a little secret for everybody on you may okay, I ain't telling you. You'll have to figure it out. I don't want to ruin the thing, but there are certain things for ads that like things happen and everything, but it all comes down to the money. It all comes down to how much we're making for this and that. And I feel like that is why there's obviously more commercials that were on for more time because then they give it, that just makes sense. But yeah, Saturday night's main event. I want to say Raw because I feel like Raw is sometimes very draggy. But for me, the second worst is SmackDown. And that's probably because it's on the USA Network. I don't know if I just I have ADD or ADHD really bad. I drift off. I look into the space. I'm looking at the sky. I freaking don't know what the hell I'm looking at anymore. But I lose track of these commercials. And when Raw is on, that timer is like a click in my head. It's amazing. So that is why SmackDown is number two. And then I'm gonna put Raw there because Raw is just, we like I said, too many, too much. Might also be because it's 2.5 hours. And that is probably why, for me, NXT is the most digestible in a way because it is 2 hours. We waste the less amount of time in commercials. Shawn Michaels does do a very good job for the most part, having it feel very smooth and have it and all make sense and all doing the way, and he still doesn't do it perfect. And I'm not saying anybody's ever going to be perfect here, but the amount of time that we waste on commercials is for the, if I could do the quick math in my head, that's about 4 hours based on the shows. We have three, we have three, 2.5, 5.5, 7.5. We have 9.5 hours of wrestling sometimes. And that's not even counting AEW because I did do AEW, but AEW was pretty much the same as NXT. It is a 2 hour show. It is on TBS. That is a little bit different, but for the most part, they show the same amount of commercials and they show the same amount of just it's what's on TBS and whatever else not. That's the biggest thing. Also, I've noticed about this is how many different commercials are on different networks and ones that are not on. And I'm just going down a rabbit hole here. I'm just bored and I'm just finding different things to do here, and this was one of them. And here we are, and we've been talking about this for 30 minutes. And I think that is how I'm going to end the show, is giving you my list, which, like I said, worst to best has got to be Saturday night's main event. It's got to be SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. And then AEW also. Because, like I said, AEW 2 hours. And maybe that is also because we just don't go live for AEW anymore. But there are times I just feel like AEW is a little bit the more digestible just because for the fact that sometimes the shows suck. And I skip through them. And that might be too because it's just so much easier to just fast forward. But when you don't got internet like I don't right now, and nothing wants to work. Oh, now it wants to work. Whatever. I'm done. I give up for the day. You want to see something funny? Yeah, when I'm done, I'm almost done. But guys, I appreciate y'all coming here and hanging out with me. I gotta go call Verizon, try to figure out what is wrong with this internet. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. Get ready for another week because we'll be live for Raw, NXT, SmackDown. We got the vlog from Madison Comic Con coming out. You guys gonna see how I met three legends in the game. It's gonna be a good week. Another great week here on the channel. So before you go, hit that like button, subscribe on the road to 4K. Turn that notification button on so you know when we go live next, which, as I said, will be tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Make sure to go check out the Southside Boys Main Event Network, OTM guys, and all that good stuff. Guys, enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw.